Hey, what's up, YouTube? Red and Bordy here. Today, we're going to break down the equipment load changes in New World. That we teased this in our last video. We're also going to do the grit changes, or the changes to grit system in New World as well. So, Bordy, let's hop right in here. These are pretty significant changes to the armor system. Everybody probably remembers from the preview event the equip load and how that affected your ability to dodge. But they've added some new things in to complement those. So we want each equip load to have unique roles and strengths, so we've made major changes to the way equip loads work. Light and medium equip loads now get a damage bonus. So 20% damage bonus for light and 10% damage bonus for medium armor, Bordy. Now, medium armor loads, which is...
Yeah. Glad you clarified that, man. This is loads and not armor type. Very big difference there. So adding the 20% damage bonus for the light load is very good, man. This is something we've talked about for a long time. Now you want to push if you push your armor down into that light load category, you know, with your weight, you now get a 20% damage bonus for that. 10% for medium. Very good change in my opinion. I like this a lot because before, light armor didn't really have a lot of incentive other than just the dodge roll. You did get a lot of elemental resistance, but that has since been changed as well, which we talked about in our previous video. But now you also get the dodge roll plus a damage bonus, which makes a lot of sense in my mind. I like this change a lot.
Yes, I agree. So here's another change real quick. Medium and heavy equip loads now get a duration bonus. So 10% for medium and 20% for heavy for CCs, including stuns, slows, and roots, Bordy. So they're kind of stringing this the other direction. Now heavy armor, which already gets a mitigation bonus, is also going to get a mitigation, or excuse me, a bonus to CC.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, man. You know, the bonus to CC is really good. I think that plays right into kind of the tank category. You're going to be playing your role, and now we've seen them shift more into New World having more defined roles. So I think this is a good change for heavy armor for sure. What I like to take away from this, though, is the medium armor changes, man. It's a pretty good balance. You now get damage plus a stun duration, so it does meet in the middle there, that happy medium, and it seems like, you know, we were talking about this a little bit before. The medium armor seems like maybe the play, man. You get extra damage and extra CC bonus. Not bad, dude.
Not bad at all. And these are obviously March patch notes we have until August, until the game comes out. So I think these will probably be adjusted based off of the alpha data they think, because these are pretty flat numbers, and maybe they need to be buffed, maybe they need to be nerfed a little bit, but we will find out. But overall, a good start. Like you said, there are a lot of choices you're gonna have to make as you want to set your equipment load to light, medium, or heavy, not just the amount of mitigation you're getting. So I like that a lot. So they removed accuracy, grit, damage resistance, and stamina modifiers to all equip load bonuses. So prior to these changes, there were bonuses to these things, and I was not aware of these bonuses, but apparently there was. So there you go, Bordy. They're not there anymore.
Well, I think grit was really big deal with heavy armor. And then some of the other bonuses that you got, I think, you know, they're just trying to even these things out as they give damage bonuses and CC bonuses, CC duration bonuses. They're kind of removing some of the other ones. I think just balancing, right? You don't want to have one load type stacked with a lot of buffs, especially with the changes they made to armor and this change. I think this is probably a good thing that they removed some of these. You don't want to stack too much on one thing, you know?
Yes, and the rest of these notes kind of signify that. They were kind of a little cautious about the buff to heavy armor that they received with the increase in mitigation. So they also reduced the block stability bonus for heavy equip loads from 35% to 25% and removed the penalty from light equip loads. Now, it's important to note here that, you know, there are ways to manipulate your currently equipped weapons and armor, well, specifically armor, to modify the equip weight of it. So you can have a heavy chest and for it to be, you know, help you get into the medium or low equip weights as well. So that's important to know too. There are ways to manipulate your equip load. So this is all becoming very, very important as they make these changes, Bordy.
Yeah, which is awesome because it provides a lot of versatility and a lot of different build varieties that we're going to be able to see, which is exactly what you want in an MMO. Obviously, there'll probably end up being some sort of meta, but once you add this many choices in, the meta becomes a little bit harder to define, and I like that a lot, man.
Yes, sir. So the next change is increase stamina cost for light and heavy equip load dodges from 40 to 50. That's stamina. Dodging with a medium equip load still costs 40. So, Bordy, here's another benefit to medium armor, like you were saying. Medium armor seemed to have gotten the most amount of attention as far as buff goes. Now well, I guess these other two types got nerfed. Your dodge roll will cost 50. Now, I mean, if you can even call the heavy dodge roll a dodge roll, because boy, oh boy. That is
it's just like you might as well not dodge, just block.
You're wasting your stamina, you just well block. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so the last change, sorry, you want to add something?
No, go ahead.
The last change we have here is the medium equip load threshold is reduced from 17.5 to 15. So that means you will transfer from a light to light to medium equip load at 15 now. And heavy equip load threshold was reduced from 32.5 to 30. So one thing that's important that we're not necessarily reading over in this video is they now have written text in the game that shows you what your current equip load is and then what the next tier is, which is a really good change. But now the tiers have shifted downward, Bordy.
Yeah, which seems to be a little bit of a nerf to light armor, because now you have to be very careful. That's 2.5 weight more. I don't know if it's in pounds or what. I don't know what the weight of the armor is, but we'll just call it pounds. 2.5 pounds. At least in America.
We don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Kilograms in the
yeah. I don't know what it is in the game. I can't remember, but weight at 2.5 weight. That you now have to manage there, which is quite a lot in New World, man. I mean, there are armor pieces that weigh that, just one armor piece can weigh that much. So now you can get thrown into the medium threshold a lot easier. So it's going to be a little bit harder to push down into the light threshold, as I think it probably should be, because you get a very big damage bonus for being in the light. So I know why I see a lot of people. I can imagine a lot of people would want to run light armor, especially in PvP. With the way New World combat works, you can dodge if you can see the animations coming quickly. So now you can dodge and you get a 20% damage bonus. Light armor is going to be pretty good, I think. So I agree with this change to kind of make it a little bit harder to stay in that light armor category.
Yes, and it's important to kind of pass over this and come to the conclusion that typically your equip weight is going to scale with mitigation. So the lower your equip weight, the less mitigation you're going to have, just simply because you're wearing probably light and medium pieces of armor. Obviously, we did mention the ways that you can kind of manipulate your equip weight of a piece of armor with different traits and attributes. But generally, if you're going down into the light equip weight, you're going to have a minimal amount of resistance compared to heavy armor users, of course. So these changes are interesting, Bordy, is for sure. Like you mentioned, you're really going to have to get down there and equip weight to make sure you get that full dodge roll and damage bonus, obviously, at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So here are the promised grid changes that we're going to go over real quick. While grid is active, you are unstoppable, which means that attacks will no longer be interrupted. You will continue to take damage though, and can be killed during a grid attack. So this is grid is taking a little bit of a hit as far as effectiveness here.
Yeah, and we've been asked before, like, what grit was. Well, this basically explains what grit is. While grit's active, you're unstoppable, means that your attacks will no longer be interrupted, but you can still take damage and die even though grit is activated. So if you remember back in the preview event, your player, your character, or an enemy, an NPC, whatever, or another player you're fighting, they get a white glow around their character. That means that they have activated grit with their attack, or activated grit in some other manner. And whenever grit is activated, they can't be interrupted. So that attack cannot be interrupted. You can still do damage to them and kill them during the attack, but that particular attack cannot be interrupted. So, I think it's a fine change, man. I think before I don't think you could be killed during grit, right? Or you couldn't take that. I think you were invulnerable during your grit attacks, right?
I know there was a lot. It mitigated some damage, right? At least for the PvE mobs that you would fight. If they had grit activated, they were taking a significant amount of less damage from you. That is for sure. And I would assume the same to be like PvP. Now recently they had added a lot of different ways for a player to gain grit while they're attacking. And, obviously we're about to read a patch note that shows that they have even changed that. So grit has been removed from many abilities, including Flurry, Skewer, Perforate, Judgment's Reach, Gravity Well, Maelstrom, Incinerate, Flitch, Vault Kick, Whirlwind, Burnout, Whirlblade, and Power Throw. So basically, dude, they removed grit from a ton of abilities because obviously it was a very strong mechanic.
Yeah, grit was incredibly strong, and I think it's going to continue to be strong because being able to perform your attack without being interrupted in this game is a big deal. So I can see why they nerfed some of those abilities to not have grit on them anymore. It seems like they took it away from a lot of abilities though. So there's only going to be, I guess, probably a handful of abilities in the game now that's going to activate grit. So that again is going to push you to make some choices, because grit is a strong mechanic in the game, and I would imagine with some builds you're going to want grit to be a thing that you incorporate in there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yes, and I generally think this is a good change because in games like this, especially with action-based combat, you're going to want counterplay. And if someone is continually chaining grit attacks, there isn't a counterplay to that. You know what I mean? They can't be stunned. They can't be knocked down. So, it's good changes. Obviously, I don't know. It didn't mention anything about a reduction of mitigation during grit, but it does say that you can be killed during grit. So I would assume maybe that is some sort of change. I believe you could be killed during grit before these patch notes. So maybe they're just restating what grit is in the first note, which is possible. But all right, dude. Well, overall, these changes are amazing in my opinion. Equip load now has a lot more importance, and again, the choices you're making greatly will affect your character and the build you're going for. If you want to do be a damage dealer, a tank, in that nature, I think these are really important. But Bordy, dude, the healers, man, seems like you just want to be like a cleric. You want to be stacked up in heavy armor, protecting yourself, and then stacking that focus.
Yeah, potentially, man. That's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how healers play out in the game, because I don't think we fully know that yet. But that's a good point, man. These equipment load changes, DPS and tank are pretty well fleshed out, but a healer, what are they going to do? How are they going to be defined in the game? And I think that's yet to be seen in New World, and that's an interesting point you bring up there for sure.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily mention healing bonuses. So maybe it does apply, and they just maybe didn't add that in here, or maybe they will in the future. Who knows? Maybe
a healing bonus is the same as maybe it falls under a damage bonus.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah. Maybe might be the case, but who knows?
Yeah.
We will find out, I'm sure, soon. All right, Bordy. Well, it's been great fun, dude. I'm so excited to continue to go over these patch notes and break them down for you. Obviously, Monday, guys, we'll have another New World video up for you about another one of these topics to discuss. We hope you'll join us there, too. Don't forget to hit the subscription button, the notification bell for more New World content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.